going on, vinyl community? Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing 5 albums I own the most copies of on vinyl. It is crazy to think that when I started collecting vinyl, all I was concerned with was having one playable copy that sounded solid to my ears, and that was it. And like I always say, with time, your rules for collecting start to evolve and change to the point where you start seeking out multiples and variants for whatever reason. Now, that's not to say that I seek out variants of everything that I like. There's obviously some artists that I love more than others, and in general, the list of bands that I will go out of my way to seek variants of is generally short, but if anything, this video will sort of prove which albums have a special place in my heart for me to own upwards to 4 to 5 copies of. So let that serve as a little teaser of the madness that is bound to ensue with this video. There are many multiples to get through, so enough of the chit-chat. Let's jump into what this video is all about. First up is Revolver by the Beatles. Now, depending on the day, this and Rubber Soul go neck and neck for being my favorite Beatles record. This is them really fleshing out their psychedelic sensibilities and really using the trickery of the studio to their advantage, which was very much a sign of the times since they stopped touring around the time of this album's release. What I have here is the 2012 stereo pressing, which uses the 2009 remaster, and this is part of the stereo box set, which I do own. Now we have a little bit of a low-key flex. I also have the 2014 mono pressing, which uses the original mono analog tapes. They replicate the UK-style kind of fold-over jackets, and sonically this does sound absolutely amazing. I also have a Japanese stereo pressing, which came out back in 2003. This is actually a direct metal mastered pressing, and I gotta say, as wonky as some of the stereo mixing techniques were at the time, the stereo separation on this pressing is actually quite impressive sounding. And I do also have the Super Deluxe vinyl box set, which came out recently. And this includes a new stereo mix done by Giles Martin and Sam O'Kell. And they went in and demixed the album from the original 4-track multi-tracks. And the end result is truly impressive. And it goes to show how far that type of technology has come to where they can revisit works that may have not been feasible if it was done, let's say, years back. And also, as a point of reference, they also include the mono mix in the box. And this right here is actually a fresh, all-analog cut. So the differences between this version compared to the 2014 mono are honestly rather minute. Next up is Love Gun by Kiss. Of course, Kiss is my favorite band of all time, and this is my favorite album of theirs. And I say that kind of biased because this was the first Kiss album that I ever listened to back when I was 2 years old, so I have been a lifelong Kiss Army soldier, and I've never looked back since. Now, what I have in my collection is the Walmart exclusive pressing from 2020, which comes pressed on this sort of tangerine colored vinyl with aqua blue splatter. It didn't come with the gun prop, so I kind of went ahead and sort of Frankensteined a European reissue that I had from 2014 that I once owned, and for shits and giggles, I did assemble the gun for my own personal amusement. I also have the 45th anniversary pressing, which was exclusive to KissOnline.com. Now, this comes with a slightly modified version of the prop gun in terms of the color scheme, and this comes pressed on gold-colored vinyl. I also have a 2014 German pressing, which of course has the modified German Kiss logo, and the gun is not assembled, as you can see right here. And I also have an unofficial pressing, which comes with this sort of unique kind of blow-up poster of the album cover. No prop gun included, and it comes on this sort of marbled lilac-colored vinyl. Next up is Black Sabbath's debut album. What can be said about this album? It is the birth of heavy metal, recorded in one 12-hour recording session, and it has stood the test of time. Black Sabbath is one of my favorite bands, and I absolutely won't fret on any opportunity to own as many copies that I feel is justifiable of their catalog, because those early Sabbath albums are just so good. Plus, in the case of the debut, there are some distinguishable differences between the copies that I have. First off is a recent reissue done by Sanctuary. Fully replicates the artwork of the original UK pressing with the inverted cross on the gatefold, as well as the inclusion of the song Evil Woman. Now, what's cool with this pressing is that it kind of comes with a sort of unique custom center label here with the band's logo as opposed to the Vertigo swirl that the original came with. But the color of the vinyl is beautiful. Check this out. So this is kind of sort of purple inside black colored vinyl, which is absolutely stunning looking. I also have the 2010 Rhino pressing, which is faithful to the original American Warner Brothers press in the sense that it is a single pocket jacket, and in place of the song Evil Woman is its B-side, Wicked World. I also have the 2LP Deluxe Edition, which was done by Rhino back in 2016, which includes the American version of the album on the first LP, and then the other LP consists of bonus tracks such as Evil Woman and various studio outtakes and such. And just like Love Gun, I also have an unofficial pressing, which replicates the original UK artwork, but kind of in a slight twist. What we have here is a printed glossy inner sleeve of the artwork that consists of the gatefold, and this comes pressed on red vinyl, and it has the Vertigo swirl label. Next up is In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. This is a beautiful album inside and out. It's the birth of progressive rock, and it is essential listening for any music lover or appreciator. What I have here is the 2010 pressing, which uses the original stereo mix. I also have the 2009 Steven Wilson remix, which was released as part of the 1969 to 72 box set, which brings together the Steven Wilson remixes of the albums from that era along with extra outtakes. And then there is this pressing here. This is the 50th anniversary pressing from 2019, which features a new mix also done by Steven Wilson and a second LP of what is called an alternate album, which is basically all the songs from the album, but different versions such as alternate takes and mixes. So I guess while there are 3 physical copies here, the addition of the alternate album in this one kind of classifies it as 4 different versions of In the Court. Last but not least, I'm going to include some modern blood in this video from a band that I absolutely love, and that is Ghost Opus Eponymous. Ghost is one of those living examples of a band today that has put in the work and effort in their craft to, at this point, over a decade after this debut of theirs came out, they are filling up arenas. And as a fan, it's cool to witness that evolution, but with that said, their sound and presentation has now appealed to the masses, whereas this early stuff had more of a cultish vibe to it, which I do certainly miss, but this does represent the roots of what would ultimately make this band succeed as much as they do now. Now, I have made the joke prior on this channel where for every color in a Crayola 85 pack, there is a colored vinyl pressing of Opus Eponymous, and believe me, there are many pressings out there, whether solid color, split color, splatter, you name it, it is out there, and I've kind of fed into the madness and managed to get my hands on some cool variants. First up here is one of the then more commonly available variants, which came out back in 2013. Comes in a gatefold jacket, and it comes pressed on this split color, opaque white, translucent blue colored vinyl, which, to be honest, this color scheme matches the artwork of the album just perfectly. And then there were some recent repressings done, which I got my hands on. This one here has the Ghost logo in a sort of mirror finish, which kind of gives it a nice sort of deluxe look to it. Same gatefold artwork as the previous pressing, but this one in particular comes pressed on red sparkle colored vinyl. And also a little fun fact as well, just it's a little bit of minutia. The final track on side B, which is called Genesis, is not listed on the label, so kind of stands out in a very minor way. And then there was also this pressing, which sort of has standard regular artwork from the first one, but it is a single pocket jacket. And the gatefold artwork is featured here as a double-sided insert. And this pressing comes pressed on blue sparkle vinyl. So there you guys go. Those are 5 albums that I own the most copies of on vinyl. Now, we have only scratched the surface in this video because there are other albums that I have multiples of in my vinyl collection. So if this concept is worth revisiting in a follow-up video, please drop a comment down below. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.